Greetings and all that jazz. What is going on, young man? Well, I ain't young, I'm Unc now. But anyway, we are in week 28, and that is the great Marshall Faulk and Cristiano Ronaldo. So, I don't want to talk like that. So for me, it's Faulk, because he was like that for the Rams when I was a youngin'. The word of the day is raffish, according to Merriam-Webster, and that is someone that people or things that show a careless but usually attractive unconventionality. So like somebody they got like a homeless look about them, or they're unkempt, so to speak, but something about that rough around the edges or unkempt look is attractive. So do that information what you will. We only had one like jog. I think I did a jog or whatever. So we knocked out one little jog, whatever. I ain't tripping about it. Here's what it is. As far as employment, chronically unemployed, I ain't applying. Like I say, I don't know, man. I'm in a good space. Like, I'm actually coming home from a job now, and the money been flowing. And I looked at that too. Like, that hasn't been what's worked for me, like me looking for jobs and me actually applying. How I usually get them is, hey, I saw your profile or your resume, whatever, and I think you'd be great for this role. Are you interested? Sure, let's do it. So if it ain't broke, I ain't gonna fix it. I keep doing this as long as I can pay the bills. We solid, and we're gonna keep making it. So that is that. So nothing to report on that home front. We are still chronically unemployed. So y'all okay? Ain't my business. What was it? This was the 9th to the 15th. 9th to the 15th. I'll go ahead and knock that. Well, no, because usually when I do the jobs. Anything else to report? Oh, man. I don't think. Let me see. Hold on. Let me check my phone. These pictures or whatever. Of course, a little bit was with us or whatever. And we had a blast enjoying that little girl company. I just got to make sure that I don't say something wrong here. That was yesterday. That's when I downloaded them. My sister sent them to me. Hold up. Give me a second. My sister just messaged me. It was a night. Matter of fact, cool. So, a little bit was here, right? And like I said, I said that in the last one. Then my sister came by. She saw a little bit here, and she was like, we can help, whatever. And my God, today, I don't know. Like, of course, she used to live with me, so she used to get her hair done then. Maybe blow dry, but I think they pressed it. Like, my girl looked like a hoe. I'm like, I don't never remember seeing her hair pressed out like that. Like I said, blow dry, but blow dry and like somebody pressing hair, straightening, combing, whatever, that's two different, looks or whatever. So like, long hair don't care, and they trimmed it. Her hair was literally like down to her stomach, halfway down the back, and it was just so nice, man. Like to see her, like, I'm like, oh my God. And so they braided it, put it in some individual box braids, my sister and her wife. And so when she came, when I picked up her, when I came to get her, she was like, I love my hair so much. Do you see it? It's so long and so pretty. I love it. I want to keep it like this forever. And I was like, again, I can't control, what happened when you ain't with me, but I will get out here and bust my butt to get her hair done once a month, because I plan on at least picking up once, one weekend out of the month or whatever. So if nothing else, the weekend I pick you up, baby, we'll go get your hair done. I make it work. So like I say, her excitement was amazing. It was good. Really enjoyed her. And then when I went to drop her off, I was like, we typically do that anyway. I just stop at the store, whether it's food, whether it's a toy, clothes, whatever. I'm gonna grab you some stuff. So she was really like, she had got into a little morning routine. Somebody would throw some waffles in the little toaster or whatever, and that's all she want to eat. I just want waffles. And you got pancakes? I got pancakes. But stopped at the store, grabbed her some waffles, some pancakes, chicken nuggets, little stuff, just stuff for her to snack on or whatever, had something to eat when she back. And like I said, I really enjoyed that little girl, man. It was amazing. So, but that really lit my heart up to see how excited she was. And they did her nails and stuff and put like a little diamond or crystal emblem on it and all that, the little Hello Kitty. She was super girl. Like, I was just gonna paint them, but hey, saved me some time. Of course, it would have been cool to bond with her, but we still had an amazing time. So she was like, when you come back to get me? And the plan is to go to the beach in the next week or so before my oldest go back. So that was cool, man. Oh yeah, I was about to forget that. So of course I spoke about them going to my Bloods going to soccer camp. It was a good look, man. They really enjoyed themselves. I signed them up for the half day because I was like, I don't want them to be out there and they hot and they ain't really feeling it. But I know one day I got back late coming from work. Doctor's appointment, one of the two. I got back late coming from somewhere, and they got to stay at least until lunch. So I picked them up and they was like, man, I was like, how was the lunch? They was like, man, it was way better than my school lunch. I think they said had pizza, fries, nuggets, and something else. I was like, oh man, and a dessert. They was like, yeah, it was real good. I'm like, all right. So we're looking at that next year. They want to go back. I'll sign them up for at least a full week or whatever, if not 2. But I thought about it, like I said, that camp was like about 2 something a piece. That's $400 or whatever for 1 week. Yeah, so well, yo, for the half. So it'll be almost $700 for 1 week for the full day. And then if we're talking about 2 weeks, almost $1,500. Ooh, I like y'all. I don't know if I love y'all that much, but you know, I got time to plan and prepare. You know, we'll see what's in the cards or whatever. So we probably will end up doing at least 2 weeks next year or whatever, just depending on how everything shake out. But they really enjoyed themselves, man. It was good getting to watch them and see them out there doing their thing and getting active because they're super lazy. They don't do nothing but play them video games. So that was super dope, man. And then I guess we'll get to the job. So first job we had on that day, the last day or the first day of the night, the week of 28 or whatever. That's why I said me and my oldest was working. I spoke about us working on the job and like he said some of my like little sayings and phrases. We were on that job and I was showing him that, like I said, I don't know if it's called gun plot or gun play. Nothing to do with actual guns, but he likes guns, like I said, little figurines or whatever. And I was like, again, that may be, you know, something you can make some money doing that. And it was. So I was like, hey, look at this. Check it out. Because I'm like, again, for you, you don't need, like, you don't have any responsibilities or real bills. So even if we're saying you making like $100 a month or $200 a month, for you, that's balling. It's 13 for consistently, and it's in your control. So we'll see if he takes it on. I told his mom about it, so she knows. And again, nobody's gonna push him or force him because he, you know, has everything that he needs. But if he wants some extra money, opportunity's there. So we shall see. But yeah, so that job, we had a storage bed. I fixed a dresser and a nightstand. Like I was saying, they had painters do them or whatever, and the painters just didn't know what they was doing. So I got them knocked out like no problem. We did end up having to run to the store because they had used some of the wrong screws or whatever in the wrong spot. So we were just out of them. I didn't have them in my toolbox because I didn't transfer everything over. I've been buying tools and like little things to make jobs easier, and it's been helping. But I need to get an organizer for like my loose screws, nuts, bolts, stuff like that or whatever, so I can organize those and boom, be able to get to them faster and get them all. Like I still have a lot of them just in my room where the my old toolbox is at. So I need, like I said, I'm gonna get that organizer probably in the next week or so. Next week, I'm gonna get it next week. Get that, because it wasn't a bunch of money with it. I just spent more money than that at Lowe's anyway. So we'll get that, but we knocked that job out. They were satisfied. Then I had a returning client. I did their job like maybe 2 months ago. And they had 2 nightstands, a bookcase, a TV stand, and a table. So I knocked those out in a few hours. It stormed cats and dogs while I was out there. Luckily I was in the garage working on it. And it didn't seem that bad because it was like one of the Fast and Furious storms. It came, rained real quick, wind blew real hard. It was like, okay, you know, that's all right, whatever, it went by. And then when I got inside, we saw the news and it was like power lines, trees down. A tree went through an older man's house and car. He had just backed the car up, and so it just missed him. It still went in the car, but it didn't hit him. So it was like a crazy storm or whatever, but that wasn't nothing crazy as far as, like I said, I just heard wind and a little bit of rain, but I didn't know it did out in other areas of the city. So again, they were satisfied. I know I got to come back for one more thing that they need done. So that was cool. Again, another returning client that my partner, Coach Mac, put me on. I just did a dresser for her. Actually, that's where I'm leaving now, but that's for week 29. So, because I'm recording late or whatever. So, I did a 7-drawer dresser. She was satisfied, happy. Again, a lady, another returning client, I put together, wait a minute, that's technically 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 5, because I had 5 jobs. 4 out of the 5 jobs I did were returning clients. Like, man, the business building up. I'm telling you, I don't even got to go get it. They come get me now. So I just did a dresser for her. We sat and wrapped it, whatever, and that was cool. I said, the fourth job was for a lady. I said I did a moving job, and I did it by myself and forgot how old I am. She moved from one apartment or duplex to the third floor in another apartment, and good God Almighty, wore myself out. So I did an 8-drawer dresser for her. Took a few hours. She was happy. I was actually supposed to do some more stuff that I ended up doing in week 29, and so I had to go back. Well, I had to go back to do those. I'll talk about those next week or whatever. So knocked those out. She was satisfied, and that was it for the jobs, man. And then of course we always go back and look at, you know, this time last year. So week 28 last year, I had just got on at the company that laid me off. They had called me back, offered, went through everything. If I'm not mistaken, I was supposed to have started, I think, week 28, but they had some stuff that they didn't get, new requirements that they have even for contractors that all didn't get cleared on their end, you know, and then they were requiring new stuff. Like I remember looking back and they were like, they needed a W-2 from like literally 10 years ago. I'm like, yo, what kind of mess is that? Like, I don't even know where you would go to get a W-2 from 10 years ago, I guess, to the company, but what if I was in a different state? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just wild to me. But luckily, I'm somebody that, as I said last year, I keep all that stuff, so I had it just in my little documents or whatever. But I'm like, this wild though. Like, and I had just worked for them before, like, you know, contract and permanent. Y'all didn't require the stuff when I was permanent, so new policies, whatever. So we had just started that. The same day I got the call to start that contract, my bronze, they had got their first jobs. They've been working at Food Line, so it's actually about to be a year for them or whatever. I can think next week or like in a week or two. So pretty cool, like I said, that I'm documenting everything and able to look back and see and remember. And it's interesting because, like I said, I'm running into some of the same stuff now, and it's even worse now. Like, so this time last year, I remember it was a job where a lady was like, I don't remember exactly what the furniture was, but she was like, oh, I pay you this much, or this shouldn't cost that much, or somebody else said that much. Hey, get them to do it then. Like, you know, of course, I'm never rude like what I'm saying now. I'm not gonna say I'm rude in what I'm saying now, but I know that I speak very dismissive, you know what I'm saying, when I say it now, like when I'm here. But you know, when I'm talking to them, like, all right, you know, I have a great day, you know, I'm sorry that we couldn't come to an agreement, something professional and polite, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, all right, whatever. If I ain't the person for you, I ain't the person for you. Like, it can be short and sweet, but there's no need to be rude, you know what I'm saying. So, but I'm still dealing with that now. Like, funny enough, the last day of week 28, I had a lady. I was at my pop's house. We had just left karate for Kazabu or whatever, and the lady reached out to me, so I reached back out. Hi, you know, this is Lee with the Assembly. I saw, you know, you just reached out to me. What do you have? She's like, I got some patio furniture. I need this and the third December. I'm like, all right, gave my rate. And she's like, oh no, literally, I'm just trying to spend half of that. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I got a whole bunch of stuff back. I said what I said, Nene, you know, Lee. I said what I said. So, okay, and she was like, I ain't really trying to pay that because I already paid somebody else to come out and he did it wrong. And like I said, it's funny because I think I ran into the same thing last year, this same week. I remember talking about it in the video, like, people be, oh, I already paid somebody else to do it. Well, they did it wrong. That has nothing to do with me. And you're a 45-minute hour commute? Absolutely not. You lucky I'm not even, you know, taxing you or charging for the commute. Like, I'm really just charging you for the stuff. So, yeah, well, I ain't really trying to pay that. So, can you work with that work? No, ma'am, I cannot. So, all right, well, have a good day. Again, business picking up, baby. Leaving the Assembly doing just fine with or without, you know, whatever job. So, I'm grateful for all of them, but all money ain't good money, and I ain't got to get every job. So, like I said, funny looking back, and I was going through that same thing last year. So, also, this was the week. I know, again, I ain't got to guess. I know this one right here. I was ticked off this time last year because this was a lesson learned. If y'all calling about something, especially if it's a little grip away, even if it is in the city, I'm still going, hey, has anybody opened this? Has anybody tried to work on this? These are questions that need answers because I ain't trying to mess around and come down your way. And then in this instance, the furniture, it was 3 pieces of furniture I was supposed to be working on, and the biggest and most expensive one where I was going to get paid the most, somebody else had broke. I think that the customer tried to work on it, but they was like, yeah, somebody tried to fix it. Yeah, somebody is you. You broke it. I ain't trying to hear all that. So, whatever. But, yeah, that ticked me off or whatever, wasting my time or whatever. So, let me see. If it was what was it for this week? 9th or the 15th. Then around similar. Nope, that was the, yep. So, that was that job. I was supposed to do the dressers and nightstands or whatever. Dresser, chest of drawer, nightstand. And that was the one way down the road, and I was excited about it because I'm like, you know, I still had a bunch of business cards. I still don't have any business cards. I'm gonna get some next week. Still had a bunch of business cards, so I was like, I can go to this area, you know, and hopefully this will open up another pipeline. They tell somebody else about me, da da da. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it don't. In that case, it didn't, and I ain't surprised because they wanted me to come way back down there. Like, it was literally an hour and a half drive one way, so 3 hours of driving. And for what I drove then, and again, you know, I was in a different space then. My business wasn't what it is now. I'm not going that far away for what I went for last year. Last year's price ain't this year's price. So I would have, even with all 3 of them working, it would be like, no, that's not worth it now. I make that here in Charlotte, like, no problem. You know, it's not like a maybe. No, I'm gonna make it. I'm good. I don't gotta go that far. We good. So I wouldn't even go that far now for that. So I did that. Again, I did a job for a friend, and I think that was it. Just those 2. I put, yep, it was a bid job. I did a bid for my friend, picked it up, dropped it off, disassemble, reassemble, all that. So, like, looking back, and like I say, man, you know, then, like, July, I was like, oh, I needed to be really busy, da-da-da, whatever, because I didn't start work until I think the last, like, few days of July, versus now I can count up. So, my contract ended on, I think, it was the 2nd. It ended on the 2nd, and since the 2nd, I can't say the day is, but in the last few weeks, since being laid off or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I just did 2 more. I've done 22 jobs in 20 days. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, man, I needed to be this busy last year. And I don't know if I did 22 jobs in the month of July last year. Let me see. With my handy dandy notebook. And then I got 1 job already secured for tomorrow. Potentially 2. I did do 2 pages last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I did 17 jobs for the month of July last year. And I'm at 22. And we still got, my man was whipping that thing. He was whipping a lawnmower. Crazy, like, and pushed off on the pole and everything for balance because he was on a hill. I don't drive lawnmowers, never drove. I probably would have failed. I ain't gonna hold you. He a whole professional at that, like I'm a whole professional at everything else that I do. But yeah, man, like I said, in a month, you know, and last year was like, I wanted to be as busy last year as I am now. Like I say, sometimes it's like, you know, I'm gonna have to reschedule to this one. It is, like I say, man, I'm really blessed, fortunate, and appreciative of where we are in a year's time. Cause like I say, this time I was like super excited. And yeah, because like I say, and not just the jobs and the frequency and how many jobs I'm getting, but I get paid a bit more. Like I say, the price went up. Now I'm still reasonable, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't try to screw people over. That's never gonna be who I am. I tell them like, hey, look, this is what I charge, da da da, whatever. If it works for you, fine. Sometimes, you know, like I said, that's something that I appreciate, being able to be in a position to where I can do a job and give a discount to somebody that I feel is deserving, that's in need, whatever the case is. I don't have to, you know, versus like last year. I still gave some discounts last year and did some good work for some people, but it was like, I really need, you know, every cent or whatever. Nah, I don't got to make every dollar. Like, hey, I was going to charge you this. Just give me this. Are you sure? Hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth now. Don't ask me if I'm sure. I wouldn't have said it if I would. So, like, that's nice, man. You know, like I say, again, the things that I was able to do for a little bit, the things I'm able to do for the kids. I'll be reporting, knock on wood, don't nothing go wrong in another week or so, but probably week 30. Yeah, week 30, I think it'll be week 30, if not 31 at the latest. The plan is to be reporting back, you know, hey, we went to the beach, it was this, that, the third, we had a good time, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm beyond blessed, bro, and just grateful. I'm grateful for what this business did to me. Oh, I almost forgot, y'all went to see Miss Maria, and I was, again, you know, just singing her praises, giving her kudos, and like telling her, because again, for her, that's just who she is. She's just a good person, and she gonna pour into you. Like I said, just that maternal instinct, just an older woman that's loving and cares. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not just me. I see her give that to anybody that come in there that's receptive to it, you know, and even if you seem to have an attitude, she gon', okay, I ain't even finna let you make me have I'm not gonna get that back to you. She gonna love you even harder, you know what I'm saying? So, but like, man, I was telling her, she was like, I ain't do nothing special. No, I'm not even finna let you finish that statement. Again, I know that for you, it's just what you do for everybody. And I'm glad that you do, because I wasn't nobody special when I walked in here. Of course, we built a friendship and everything now, but that's the thing that's beautiful about your spirit and the person you are. If you only gave that to the people that, you know, you did already have a relationship or a rapport with, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And the same, you know, I was with my cousin recently. I always speak about her. I said the 3 women that helped me start this business. My homegirl who called me for one, I don't remember who was first, my homegirl or my cousin. But I did a job for my cousin, job for my homegirl, then ran into Miss Maria. And the rest is history. And so, like I say, you know, me and my cousin, we hadn't got to catch up in a while, but we did here recently. And I was telling her, like, the same thing, like, you know, I'm appreciative. And at some point, I'm going to be in a space where I'm going to be able to come and just either cash up or drop an envelope in your lap to say thank you, you know. And she was like, for what? I'm like, because, again, the money that I'm making, the money that I'll be able to give you and that I plan on giving you, I'm only going to be able to give you because you needed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that moment, or you reached out to me. I ain't gonna say you needed me, but I'm the person you reached out to, and you helped me realize a skill that I was wasting. It was just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. Yeah, I am good at that. And I did it, and it was like, hold on now. I really, really like that. And I didn't know I liked it. All right, yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep this going. And the same thing with my homegirl. There's gonna come a time where I'm in a space where I'm like, boom, hey, here you go. What's this for? Because where I'm at, you're a part of that origin story, and me being able to do not only for me and my family, but other people, and able to be more selfless and more caring. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't all about me. I don't gotta worry about me no more. Like I said, I'm in a position where, hey, boom, you need something? Like, you know, I always try to help out. If I ain't gonna say always, but I'm a person, like I said, I do care about those that are less fortunate, but sometimes it's like, and I hate that I look at it like that, like, you know, even if it's just $1, or even if it is some change, like, I ain't trying to give. But again, I'm sitting in this Zaxby's parking lot right now, finna buy some fries just because I want. I don't eat meat or whatever, so I can't do nothing with the rest of it. I can give me a little salad or something. No, I can't get salad because psycho, whatever that virus is out. You ain't supposed to eat no raw veggies and fruits and stuff like that. You gotta cook it. So a salad, no go on salads. But you know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where now, here recently, I've been making sure I keep just loose 1s and 5s and stuff like that. Or, you know, I was walking out of the store the other day, like I said, it's never to brag, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, it was a dude that was sitting there. Honestly, I can't say, depending on the day and where I was at, if I wasn't making the money I'm making now, that I would have just offered. Because, you know, some of the, you know, people that are in need, they'll ask like, hey, if you got any change. He didn't ask, but the look was like, maybe, you know, not pride, whatever reason, like, I ain't gonna ask, but he seemed like he was lingering, you know. And if somebody offer him and take something, hey, bro, you trying to get something out of the store? And he's like, no, I'm straight. All right. And pimped off. But, you know, even though he was good, he could have been somebody that was, I could tell was about to ask, and depending on the day and where it was at, just because of, you know, the scarcity mindset that I had, I may have been like, trying not to make eye contact, or, you know, I'm gonna drive to the other side of the store. Not today. And now it's never not today. It's like, even if I don't have cash, I can grab something out the store. You want, you know, hot dog? Because I typically stop at Quick Trip because they got crushed ice and I like the ice or whatever. So they got, you know, food. They got drinks in there. So it's like, forget just giving you $1. You want something out of here? Food, drink, you know, whatever. You give me some cigarettes? Absolutely not. I ain't paying for no habits. But if it's food or something to eat, I got you. Like, you know, same with the grocery store or whatever. So like I say, man, just to be able to be more selfless and caring and giving to others. Forget me, man. I'm happy that I can take care of me and the kids and other family members. Like, right now, my book that I've been documenting, let me show you this. Put this thing in the video. I've had this since day one. I started a business. Whatever, don't mind my handwriting. So, boom. And very first job was March 8th, right? Let me make sure I ain't going by the address. Just boom. First job, March 8th. Very first job I did in another city, right? And I'll put it back up here now. like I said, I did that job, and oh yeah, I was talking about the notebook. So the notebook beat up, like as you saw, it was torn and tattered or whatever. So I also write down, like, of course I can do the apps or whatever, but no, I'm old school in that regard. So I just been writing them down since I started. Same thing, I've always done it with my bills. Like, I know at least since I was like 20, my very first apartment, I write all my bills down every month in the notebook. And so I have one, and those run out or whatever way faster because they typically like calendar good for a year, maybe two. So I'm gonna have to get another one every year or two. And this one I got like a hardback one that, you know, is more durable or whatever. And so I was like, this, you know, notebook kind of beat up, this, that, and the third. I'm still gonna keep it, but I want to transfer it to one that's more durable, like with a hard back and all that or whatever. Maybe even one that has like a what would you call it? I've seen some where it's like a box. I typically see that in like businesses or whatever, where like you put the notepad in a box or whatever, so you don't have to worry about it getting wet. It's waterproof and all that. It ain't gonna be and get beat up. You spill something, it's fine because it's like hard plastic or metal or something like that. So, and I was saying, like, I know, again, my handwriting ain't the best, but, you know, my oldest niece, hey, you trying to make some money? She's an artistic, and if her, you know, I've seen her handwriting before, but just want to make sure she got the nice, girly, bubbly handwriting or whatever. Is she going to do all of them? Nope, but if you could transfer the ones that's in here for me, I'll throw you a couple dollars. And she always trying to make some money, so I'm sure she, you know, more than likely be like, yeah, I got you. So, you know, at some point, I think in the next, before this month is over, that'll be one of the, hey, you trying to, if you knock this out for me, I'll throw you this. And I'm sure, like I said, she gonna be, yup, let me get that. So, like I say, man, just looking back and, like I said, to be able to see all the jobs that I've done and this notebook wore out, and like I say, to be able to, I'm so glad and appreciative because, again, even that is a blessing in disguise or whatever. I started this, but I don't know if I would have started, you know, like I say, this whole YouTube video and thing started because I got laid off. And again, I wanted to capture in that moment, okay, you're down right now. I'm down, I'm not out. But when I'm gonna get back up. And when I get back up, I want to remember one of the lowest moments that I've had. Because honestly, man, it was scary. That was very scary. Like I said, we had just moved. It's just me and the boys, and I'm doing okay, you know, we're working and supplementing with Uber and Lyft and stuff like that. But I just doubled my rent, and we got Uber Lyft. Like, I don't think Uber Lyft gonna cover this. Now, the apartment we was at, yeah, Uber Lyft would have been fine. But we just doubled the rent, and bills went up to heat, you know, like I didn't have gas, I didn't have water, I got all those bills now. And to heat a place that's 2.5 times bigger than what you had, yeah, it costs. So, like, man, worried and nervous, and I gotta figure it out. I can't feel myself, but I damn sure can't feel these boys. And so, like I say, to look back now and it'd be like, I don't worry about bills at all, man. Like I say, you know, no bragging at all. Just, this is gratitude, bro. Sometimes, like I say, I get to, like, it can be, I've done it in 48 hours, in 2 days sometimes. I've made more than I make working contracts and stuff, what I was making in a contract, especially like if you talking gross, sometimes, but especially if you talking net, what I bring home after taxes and insurance and all that, man, I done made that in 48 hours. So it's like, you know, like I say, man, I'm so grateful I control what I make now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I typically work contracts, so I don't know, let me see, looking back, have I ever been in a position where I think I might have got overtime? I probably count less than 10 times in my life. Because typically I was working salary jobs or the ones where it was hourly. They was trying to make sure you didn't get into overtime. And if you did, it's still what, you know what I'm saying? In that moment, it seemed like something to me, but it really wasn't no money then. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, to be where I'm at, and I can make, like I say, in 2 days what I make in a week sometimes, especially when I was younger, like, man, you talking when I was a drug counselor, I've made in a week what I made in a month before. Is that consistent and all the time? No. But, man, and then like I say, doing this is like way less headache. Like, oh, I wish I could talk about what it was today, but hold up, was that last week or no, that was 29. Dang it, can't speak on that. But again, man, this has its challenges or whatever. And even with the challenges, like the challenges I went through that day, the challenges I went through today or whatever, it's like I'm still happy and looking forward to waking up tomorrow and going to do the job tomorrow. I hope to get a second one to get confirmation, because I know the guy said he has to I can't speak on it because whatever, but a job that I have that's pending tomorrow. I got one that's locked in, one that's pending tomorrow. But even with the challenges, man, it's not like, I wake up and I don't want to do. I wake up, and when I say, even when I'm tired, by the time I get to the car, if I stayed up too late or whatever, and that's what's nice in the freedom of it. Now I do try to make sure, I'm responsible or whatever, and that's something that a lot of clients and customers speak on, like you're punctual. So if I say, I'm gonna be there between 9 and 9:30, I'm aiming to be there 8:45 to 9:15 at the latest. You know what I'm saying? I want to get there early, not on time. So, what is it saying? If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. I can't remember his name. I think it's Orlando Jones. Dr. something. Drumline. Y'all know the line. But, yeah, man, like I say, they're like, appreciate how punctual I am or whatever. And so I try to keep that going. But if I do happen to, man, I stayed up too late playing 2K like an idiot or whatever the case was, couldn't sleep, watching TV, whatever it is, then, hey, I got a later start, or if it's all right with you, is it all right if I get there in 2 hours later or whatever? And, 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, no problem. But if it's like, oh, nah, that doesn't work for me, it's like, don't worry about it. I'll be there when I said, I might be there like 15 minutes or 20 minutes later or whatever. And they're like, all right, see you soon. So, like I say, to have that kind of control and freedom back. And then, like I say, I'm always out to get as much as I can. So I be out here grinding it. But it's like there are times and days where it's like, you know what? Again, if we get to Wednesday and I done made enough money, you know what? Boy, I had either 3 big jobs, or I had 1 big job, or this person tipped way more than expected, because like I said, I done got tipped twice as much as I had for the job before. Like, whoa, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? So let's say I had a pretty big job, and the person, boom, here you go, man, I appreciate that. You know what, I'ma chill Thursday and Friday, or I'ma go, whatever the case is. So like I say, to have that versus, like, again, I'm never knocking 9 to 5. I appreciate what it built up, but getting this taste right here is like, no. Let's say, how it is, you can be killing it at work, giving them crazy productivity, and like the manager can point, man, this right here, you really saved this, whatever. I know for myself, like I say, I speak about some of the contracts I work, and this one stands out more than the rest, but it was my second contract at the company that I got laid off from. So my first one was in 2021. 6-month contract, did great. They offered to extend it, but they offered to extend it the night before it was supposed to end. I had taken another permanent role, so I was like, yep, that doesn't work for me, went over there. So permanent role didn't work out. And so I, went to bat for myself, and I didn't have direct experience, but I had transferable experience and experience in relation to that line of business. So the manager gave me a chance. Again, supposed to be a 6-month contract. I remember I started January the 18th, right after the Martin Luther King Day weekend. So started, supposed to be a 6-month contract, go to like August or something like that. I'm like, smooth. Get in there, get started. And he's pointing it out, and I'm like, oh, I'm killing it, whatever. That man reached out to me, I remember it was the first week of April or whatever. He's like, I got some good news and some bad news. And I'm like, man, I know I ain't messed up. I done been, online when I'm supposed to. I've been doing everything right. So I'm a bad news first kind of guy. So I'm like, man, let's not get the bad news. What's up? He's like, man, the bad news is you knocked out, because they were behind 2 years. I remember I was doing work. It was 2022. I was doing work going all the way back to 2020. He's like, the bad news is you knocked out 6 months worth of work. And like I say, so I started January 18th. So halfway through January. So that's February, middle of February, middle of March. So 2.5 months. In 2.5 months, I had knocked out 6 months worth of work. And he's like, the bad news is you knocked out 6 months worth of work and I have nothing else for you. I'm like, bro, I just lost my job. And again, 9 to 5, all I know on Uber and Lyft, and I can make it off Uber and Lyft, but I just got back straight. Like I had just lost my job in November, just got going in January. So I was out of work and Uber and Lyfting for 2 months. I'm back straight, I'm making enough money, and you finna take it from me again because I did good? Like, even worse, if I messed up, fine. But I did great. There's no way I did so great that I'm losing my job. He's like, you know, but you did such a great job. I rapped with another manager, told him about you. He wanted to holler at you. Cool. So, you know, like I say, man, just being able to look back and, like, again, you know, where my heart got to fluttering right then as soon as he like, you know, this contract over because you finished. I'm like, bro, like I said, I just got back comfortable, whatever. And all I knew was whether it was when the contract was about to end, usually a month in advance, or, you know, especially if it ended abruptly, or the day I got laid off, man, ain't no sitting and crying. Hey, we need to get on this right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get straight to it that day. And like I said, man, that contract ended over 2 weeks ago. I ain't did an application nowhere. I looked at a few jobs. Like I said, I do know that I want something more analytical if I do go, you know, back to working 9 to 5 or whatever. But like I said, one, it don't make sense for me to look because that's not normally how I get jobs. And two, I don't really need it right now. You know what I'm saying? So I am still going to get my Six Sigma yellow belt and look at some other stuff. Like I say, looking at things more analytical or whatever in black and white versus that shady area of gray, like with a writing job or something like that. I think I'm going to stick in that compliance space I was in. So looking at some compliance, like I say, auditing numbers, something. So we'll figure it out. But I think that's it, gang, for 28. We're getting ready for 29, man. I'm finna grab me some little fries and something and get to the house. I done earned it with this one. I'll tell you about it later. All right, my guy. I love you. Be kind to yourself. Get you some rest. Clean this house. We gotta clean this house when I get there. I ain't gonna hold you. My feet tired. That's what I gotta get. I'm looking at getting some more shoes because the same pair, I had these same Walmart boots and they beat up, the steel toe showing and everything. But I got these boots when I first started. I know it wasn't my first job because I used to be like really dressed up, suited and booted or whatever, like business casual, a polo and stuff like that, and some khakis. No, bro, I don't. And I had like some soft bottoms on, you know what I'm saying, some Click Clacks, Mr. Bojangles. And I went to a job and I remember I dropped something on my toe, something heavy, and it hurt for days. Absolutely not. Went and got them steel toes the next day, and I done wore these things out, man. And now my feet, I just bought an insole for them, a gel insole, but my feet still be hurting. So I'm gonna get me, instead of getting these, me and Uncle Phil was rapping when he helped me with that gazebo, and he was like, yeah, I had boots too, and they used to make my feet hurt. So he rocked shoes now. So I was just looking, and I was like, I'm gonna get me some steel toe, like either tennis shoes or something more comfortable, you know. So we're working on that, but I love you. Be kind to yourself. Like I said, get some rest, get this house together. Remember, all of our goals we're working on, they're gonna happen overnights, plural with an S. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Ain't no more talk. You gotta remember what you putting in to get what you want. And in the words of that chump Rio, if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't grind, you don't shine. And I'm at Zaxby, so you know I'm about to eat. All right, my boy. I'll holler at you in 29.